Jeff Rowe from Two Hacks Garage. Well, in the last video, you saw us complete everything on Project Dazed and Confused, that 1971 Chevelle SS 454 that we did a whole lot of work on. The main component that we did on this was the Holley Sniper EFI 2 kit. This is the first of the Sniper 2 kit that we have done. We have done other Sniper 1 kits. In this video, we're not going to be working on anything. Kyle here, he's just going over things once again to make sure everything's tightened up so we're good to go. This video, you know what, I'm going to give my honest review on it, and we're going to kind of show you the pros on this. And you know what, if there's any cons, we'll discuss that too. But you know what I'm going to do, guys? We might as well get started on that. Once Kyle's done with that, we'll go in and explain. See you in a few minutes. All right, so before I get into the instructions, one of the first things I do want to say, the way they package this and send it out, it is really good. They use a packing foam that encases the actual unit, and they put it in the box, and it ships nice and safe. All the stuff that we got, nothing was broken, nothing was damaged. So kudos to that. But on the next one, I do want to go over documentation, instructions. They provide you legitimately with everything you need on every single thing. The instructions are very easy to follow, and they're very thorough. Also, if you want, you can actually go online too and do the same thing. But if you see here, it's got diagrams. It goes in and explains everything, all the adjustments, what it is. Like I said, good pictures, good explanation, everything. If you need more information, you can actually go on holley.com and get more. But yeah, it literally has everything you need to know. And we're going to get to this later. This is an important part, the power distribution module. But yeah, really happy with the documentation it comes with and all the instructions. This is really nice. Had this out many times, going over it. Kind of shows you what you need to do. Very easy. So yeah, very easy to follow, very easy to read instructions. Really can't go wrong, guys. So that's a major pro. With that, you know what? Let's get on to the next part. See you in a few. All right, before we get any of the actual main components under the hood, since we're underneath the car, checking everything over once more, the fuel pump. This fuel pump design is much better than the original one. It's very heavy duty. This one's actually pretty quiet. If you see here, you have the filter that's after it, and you also have the one that goes to it. So that's capturing any deposits if there's anything in the gas tank before it comes to that, and if anything makes it from there, it goes through there. One key improvement on this is if you look right there, the actual boot's covered. It's a much heavier duty wiring setup, and it's protected. The old one was good, but it wasn't as heavy duty, and it wasn't as protected as this. Everything you see here, including the mounting bracket, the filters, all the clamps, everything, you name it, that's all supplied with the kit. In addition, the wiring on this, this goes straight to the power distribution module, which we'll explain here in a few. What it used to do was you had relays, you had to find wires for that. Now with this one, you got 2 wires, it goes directly to the power distribution module. With that, guys, these guys are working back here, so I am going to go to the next part. All right, while we're underneath the car, I guess we'll go to the next part. The supplied O2 sensor, which is a common O2 sensor you can buy. This one happens to be like a Bosch type. You can pick these up in a store. It does come with a flange. It does come with a gasket where you can actually clamp it on here, but honestly, our suggestion is go through here and weld it. You want to make sure you have a complete weld and no holes. Also, the reason that's being is if there's any holes, that's going to suck air in, and it's going to draw that to pull more oxygen than what it's actually burning and reading and give false readings to the computer. That's also the same with this. If you notice, we replaced the gaskets. You want to make sure this thing is completely sealed through here. Otherwise, you can suck air in, get it past this O2 sensor, and it's going to give you a false reading. One thing to keep in mind too, if you have header dumps like these electric ones that we put on, you want to make sure you have enough space going from there back. If you have stuff too close, well, what's going to happen is that reverberation with the exhaust, the pulse of it, is also going to give false readings. So always make sure before you get everything tightened up that those things are far enough back so it doesn't throw this off. This here, O2 sensor, it's got a nice plug into it, no wiring, literally plug and play. So yeah, you always want to make sure fresh gasket, good seal on the weld, no air getting by it. Make sure your exhaust dumps, if you have them, are far enough back. With that, guys, we're going to go on to the next part. All right, on to the next component, the actual throttle body. As you can see, it is a 4150 style, like if you want to call it Holley carburetor. It mounts to any style with a 4150 intake manifold, many of them out there. Actually, it's installed just like a carburetor. If you actually look at the linkage on here and all that, it's using all the factory stuff. It bolts right up. Simple, concise, just like you would do with the carburetor. Holley did a really, really good job on making sure that all works properly. So it is kind of like, if you want to call it a plug and a play, put this in place of the carburetor, hook up your linkage, you're ready to go. It's a very solid unit. We have any problems with it? Yeah, it's missing the air cleaner and the stud, but you know what, guys? I just wanted to show you what that looks like. Let me show you something pretty cool here, what that looks like inside. Be right back. All right, so this is what I wanted to show you here. If you look, it's just like a 4-barrel design. But the only difference is when you do this, all 4 open up like that. So when this thing's going, instead of acting like a 2 to a 4-barrel, like secondary's opening, they actually all spray. I'll actually throw a video in that at the end of it to explain that. Yeah, like I said, it's a really good style. It's really nice. It's very well built. Hooks up just like a carburetor. You got 2 lines on that that go to a fuel regulator. So we opted with the kit with the fuel regulator on here. It's actually preset, which is really nice. You ain't got to play around with that. We are going to add a gauge on that to show what it's at. But if you look, you got your fuel line that comes in, comes off here, and you have your dual feed inlet on here. And you also have your bypass that goes back to the return of the tank. Everything is supplied with that, including how to hook it up to your tank. So yeah, another kudos on that. So yeah, that is the way your throttle body works, how it looks, how it hooks up, just like a carburetor. If you can do a carburetor, guys, you know what? You can set this thing up, you can get it all installed. All right, so the next part of this, guys, well, it's the distributor. I'm gonna try to get as good as a picture I can see. As you can see, it's a billet base. It's got a heavy-duty plastic cap. One thing kind of cool about this is, if you look in the instructions, what you can actually see here, it does actually have your rotor phaser on here. It explains how to do all that. This is a cool little tool to keep things in place when you go to install this. Holley provides us with every kit. Really do dig it. Makes things a whole lot easier, especially for the beginning. Also with the ignition, it's got the Hyperspark EFI coil. Real high output, really easy to hook up, really easy to mount. Comes with everything you need. And now here's your ignition box. So the improvement over this, over the original Sniper, it's much smaller. This box here is pretty tiny. You can locate it pretty much anything where you need it. And if you look there, it's just plug and play. Not too bad. Like I said, we've done the original one and we've done this one. The Sniper 2 one is a lot smaller. It's a lot more condensed, but it still provides the ignition you need to run your distributor. And the nice part about it is, guys, it makes room for the Holley power distribution module. We're going to talk about that next. All right, on to the power distribution module, which you see right there. That is actually something new that Holley has that actually works pretty well. Literally, guys, you take from the battery 2 cables, the heavy-duty ones, to that, and you run an accessory wire on off your key. From there, what's really cool, your fuel pump, your ignition, everything you have, even if you add accessories, actually wires into that. I know I showed this before, but here's something really cool. Check that out. So all your wires are labeled properly, and it tells you exactly where they need to go. This Holley makes this extremely simple, extremely fast. And you know what, guys? It is a massive improvement over the original one. Goes in there, talks about like what it provides for triggers for different relays, if you want to add fans, all that type of stuff. Even has the LED light key, talks about if there's a fault anywhere, fans, powertrain, all that fun stuff. It's all covered in the actual instructions, or you can go on Holley.com. But when we did this system, one thing we did notice over the original one, that power distribution module there is an absolute game changer. Makes this whole process a lot easier. When you open this box up and you lay everything out, you'll actually see a ton of wiring. It does look like a lot of work, almost confusing, on and on and on. But really, all you got to do is follow the instructions, hook everything up to that power distribution module, make sure it's right, and you're good to go. All right, the next part of this, guys, what we'll go to is the actual screen. This is how you program everything. Like I said, all that's in the instructions. It's really easy. If you read through it, it takes you step by step by step on actually how to program that. But yeah, this is what you use to not only program it, but it's going to show you your diagnostics. If you have any fans that are hooked up to it, it'll actually tell you that too. Same thing with AC shutoff. Pretty simple, guys. Really, oh, by the way, it does show you what, if you're in open loop or closed loop, that's part of the learning system. It's going to tell you your air-fuel ratio. Like right now, this car is not running, so that's obviously incorrect. It's also going to show your RPMs, and it's also going to show you your temperature. Pretty neat. It's kind of like the old gauge cluster, all in one, but it's digital. You know, really, when you set this up, get everything installed and it works right, you set your initial timing, you go in here and program it, and off to the races you go. Pretty simple. Holley does a really good job of making it easy to follow instructions, to go through there and set everything up, make any changes you need. And you know what, guys? Having the screen here like that is really easy to see. They provide everything to hook it up, because when you look at that, you want to make sure you keep your eyes on the road. Got to glance down. There you go. With that, guys, we're going to go on to the next part. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Went through and showed you how easy this thing is to install. Holley came out with a kit that made the original kit better. It's budget friendly. Like I said, it's easy to install. And you know what, guys? The instructions make it a snap. Showed you all the items that we went in with this. Yeah, we didn't show you all the fittings and all that supplied with it. But you know what, guys? That's also easy. This is definitely a project you can do with basic hand tools. Yeah, it was a lot easier with the lift, but putting this thing up on jacks, whatever you need to do, blocks, that works too. This is truly what I would consider a DIY kit. It is budget friendly. And you know what, guys? It was a snap. It was a breeze. Any troubleshooting we needed to do went by quickly. Pretty happy with it. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. 2 Hacks Garage approved. Really had fun doing it. Didn't really take that long. We wrench every Tuesday night. Spend a few hours every Tuesday night doing it. But the results speak for itself. If you go back through the other videos, what you're going to see from the beginning, throttle response wasn't that great. And you know what, guys? It was really rich. Didn't run all that well. Wasn't exactly a reliable cruiser. Now, you know what? Turn the key, prime it, hit it, and go. Come springtime, this car's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll get some footage of it going down the road. Maybe some burnouts. We'll see. But you know what? For now, guys, this one's a wrap. Got a little bit more stuff we're going to do with it, a.k.a. cleaning it up, getting ready for storage. Overall, though, really liked it. Fun project. Can't wait to do more. See you soon.